The film begins in 1997 when a radio operator in Mexico receives strange radio signals. His friend in the United States also receives the same signals, which was a very unusual event. To investigate this phenomenon, the operator travels to a location where a fire had broken out. As he gets closer, he sees that a meteorite has fallen there, causing his dog to start barking. When the man looks inside the meteorite, he sees something unusual. The scene then shifts to the year 2003 in Antarctica, where NASA has established a research facility. Scientists there discover a strange object buried beneath the ice and extract it. The movie then introduces its main character, Julian, a scientist working at a university. He specializes in researching waves, radiations, and decoding signals from space. However, his past project on similar signals had failed, which had ruined his career, leaving him with only a teaching job. After his lecture, the university principal calls him to his office to discuss something important. Julian starts researching the signal, and upon analyzing its voice print, he determines that it is not from Earth and has no connection to our planet. He realizes the situation is critical, prompting the government and NASA to conduct further research. Meanwhile, Julian departs for the research facility in Antarctica. Due to the harsh snowstorms, his plane crashes, but he survives and eventually reaches the facility. Upon arrival, he is given a tour of the facility, where he meets Alexei, the head of operations. They take him to the location where they believe the signals are originating. When Julian touches the object, he experiences strange visions, and an electric shock runs through his hand, indicating that the object is transmitting energy. Julian's ex-wife, Kate, who also works at the facility, shows him to his room. However, he continues to feel the electric sensation in his hand. Later that night, he suddenly wakes up, sensing something unusual inside the facility. He sees a strange shadow, which terrifies him. However, he then realizes he was dreaming and wakes up again in his room. Nyla, another scientist, arrives to wake him for breakfast. At breakfast, Julian learns about another NASA project in which scientists are attempting to grow plants under extreme temperatures to make future colonization of other planets possible. Afterward, he resumes his research. Many of his colleagues, however, mock him for his past failed project, dismissing the idea of extraterrestrial life. Meanwhile, authorities discover that the signals received in 2003 were identical to those received in 1997 in multiple locations. They decide to inform Julian as soon as possible. Back at the facility, the ice covering the strange object has melted, revealing a surface resembling an unknown organism. While some scientists believe it is just a meteorite, Julian disagrees. Julian works on decoding the signal, while other scientists consider it a waste of time. He theorizes that the object is a fragment of a spacecraft and that the signals are actually distress calls. However, to decode them properly, he needs clearer signals. He decides to open the object, but Kate warns him against it, fearing it could contain a dangerous virus. She argues that if an alien is inside, humanity is not prepared to handle it. If the alien has reached Earth using a spacecraft, it must be far more technologically advanced than humans. Despite her concerns, further analysis reveals that the object is not a meteorite, but is composed of solid carbon materials that do not naturally occur on Earth. This confirms that it was artificially created. One night, Nyla visits Julian and provides him with hints on how to decode the signals. When Julian follows these hints, he quickly makes progress in deciphering the message. Realizing the danger, Nyla and Julian rush to stop the scientists who are attempting to open the object, but by the time they arrive, it is too late. The object has already been opened, revealing an actual alien inside. The creature releases a strange acidic gas that burns and kills any human who comes into contact with it. Meanwhile, American authorities confirm that a similar object was discovered in 1997 with the same properties. This confirms that whatever this entity is, it is extremely dangerous and lethal to humans. If it spreads beyond the facility, it could result in catastrophic destruction. The authorities consider taking drastic measures to contain the situation, including eliminating all the scientists at the facility. Understanding the risk, Julian and his team decide to escape on their own, but the severe weather conditions make survival nearly impossible. Julian then suggests that they must sacrifice themselves to save humanity. However, another scientist volunteers to sacrifice himself instead. Julian soon comes face to face with the alien. To show he means no harm, he places his flashlight down. The alien seems to understand and approaches Julian, placing its hand on his face. Using telekinesis, the alien communicates with him. Julian is terrified, believing the alien will kill him. He had assumed that the infected scientists were already dead, but if they are still alive, it means the alien is not necessarily hostile. Julian theorizes that the alien is using the infected scientists as hosts rather than killing them. He then insists that no one should leave the facility until everyone undergoes a blood test to confirm they are uninfected. However, before they can act, one of the scientists attempts to escape. Kate quickly changes the access codes to prevent anyone from leaving. The escaping scientist tries to deceive the pilot and create a distraction, but as soon as he reaches the fields, the infected plants react violently and kill him. Seeing this, Julian decides that no one must be allowed to leave, as doing so could endanger the entire world. However, this decision angers another scientist who insists on escaping. Before Julian can stop him, the scientist opens the exit door and runs outside. Just before he can escape, the alien ship, hidden within the object, activates and kills him. Realizing that inhaling the gas is deadly, Julian quickly stops breathing for a moment and manages to survive. He rushes back inside and informs the remaining scientists. They all agree to hold their breath as an experiment. At that exact moment, the authorities launch a missile to destroy the facility. However, just before impact, the alien energy gathers all the scientists and rises into the sky, transforming into a spacecraft. And the alien energy saved the scientists' lives.